G5 jet. I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIM Studios podcast live stream, episode number 130. Appreciate you joining me for today on a, what is it, Wednesday? Damn, this week's going by fast. Wednesday, June 26th, 2024. We do have some interesting news today. Very interesting news. But before we get to it, as always, have to mention, and we will jump on this website here shortly, but all of your tech news, everything tech related, eSIMstudios.app, eSIMstudios.app. It's a progressive web app. You can install it on your device, whether you have an iPhone, Android, iPad, Samsung tablet, MacBook, or a new Snapdragon X Elite laptop, Windows PC, what have you. Go to eSIMstudios.app and you can install it on your device just like any other regular app, right? Right on your home screen. We give you nothing but the latest and greatest in tech news, tech deals. You can watch our podcast, listen to our podcast right in the eSIM Studios website, right? And if you catch this late, you can always catch the replay on YouTube, or if you want to take us on the go, all podcast platforms, we are available. Catch eSIM Studios. Simply search eSIM Studios wherever you get your podcast, and we will show up. Now let's get into the news. I saw some news here literally right before, while I was playing the intro, that we will get into as well. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna clear my throat. Hang on. Alright, I'm back. Apologize about that. Allergies are kicking my ass. But, let's see here. Okay. So let's jump into, I have 3 stories we're going to talk about. Actually 4 with the latest iPhone news here. But, 2 out of the 3 are going to tie into each other, right? So let's jump into the Pixel news first, since that was the enormous news yesterday. Samsung swooped in at the very last second and stole the headlines from Google, and announced. So, well, let's rewind it. So, Google yesterday announced their launch event for the Pixel 9 series, which caught everybody off guard because typically Pixel launches their devices, their flagship devices, going back to the Nexus days, at the end of October, right? So we expected Pixel 9 to be released in October. Yesterday, they announced August 13th was going to be the release date. Caught everybody off guard, as I mentioned. Sadly, I will not be able to attend this year again. That's actually on my birthday and I already have plans. So, not going to go this year. It sucks, but next year is the big year. That's the year I'm putting all my chips in to the middle of the table. That's the year when Google finally has their Tensor chip all to themselves. But getting back to the Pixel 9 series, so we know they're going to release the 9 and the 9 Pro, which is going to be a smaller flagship version of the bigger Pixel 9 Pro XL. Everybody's been waiting on this device, and I think this will be their biggest seller. I believe the Pixel 9 Pro, the small flagship, it will have the highest number of units sold out of the entire lineup. That's just what I believe. Now, we are expecting a fold. We are expecting the Fold 2. However, we haven't really heard anything when it comes to the Fold 2. Now, I know it's not going to be called the Fold 2, but that's just what I call it. We've seen tons of leaks for the small 9 Pro, 9 Pro XL. In fact, let me show you what it looks like. This is the base model, but it's going to be relatively look the same between the Pixel 9, Pixel 9 Pro, and Pixel 9 Pro XL, just different sizes, but roughly colors are the same, design language is exactly the same, right? But we're getting back to the the Fold 2. I got here on our website. If you're interested, as I am, I was wondering about this today. So I wrote an article on this Fold 2. Like, we haven't heard much about it. So everything we know about it to date, I have here. This is everything we know so far. Right? So I still expect them to release it. However, there's like, obviously with the 9 Pro, and the 9 Pro XL, that's 100% going to get released. There's like 5%. For some reason, I hope I'm wrong, but for some reason, there's like a very, very, very small percentage where I'm like, are they going to release this on August 13th? Just not sure. I think they are, but we haven't seen anything. We haven't heard anything. The only proof that we have of its existence is from one leaked photo. And that leaked photo came from Android Authority. Let me pull it up and show y'all. And that's it. And this was months ago. Right? This was months ago. Where's the in real life image? Come on, I know it's here somewhere. It's in, they have a bunch, they got a few mock-ups, right? And then there's one in real life photo. And here we go. So let me share this screen. So look at this. This is the only proof we have of its existence. As I mentioned, we have mock-ups, we have CAD designs, right? Like, look at this one right here. That's what it's a computer-aided design. That's what Google mocked up in its R&D department. And here's some others, right? Now, here's why I think it's going to be released, because this is Thinborn. This is a case that I actually do not business with, but they partner with, right? They sent me a bunch of their cases. So this was released by Thinborn just a couple days ago, or it was leaked, of Thinborn making a case for this device. Here's some more mock-ups of the Pixel Fold 2, right? What is this? Indian rupees. Whoa, is this a listing already? When was this? Y'all see this? Oh crap, y'all don't see it. Here, check this out. Here's a listing. This has got to be news. I mean, Indian phone what is this? It's got to be new. Alright, so here's some specs. Wow, cool. So y'all got late breaking news right here. Now, what are, let's see how much, I'll convert. Let's see what the specs are. Dual SIM, 3G, 4G, 5. Now, this is the Indian version. Google Tensor 4, 10 core processor. And Google Tensor G4, 10 core processor. 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, 5,000 mAh battery, 45 fast watt charging, 8 inches. I'm assuming that's when it's open. 8.02 inches, 120 hertz with hole punch, foldable display, dual display, 50 megapixel, 10 megapixel, 10 megapixel. That's the rear setup. In the front, two 12 megapixel. No, one 12 megapixel in the front, Android 14. Interesting. I don't remember seeing this. Wow. Okay, so here you have it. Rear camera, 50 megapixel, 10 megapixel, 10 megapixel. Very interesting. I'm gonna have to, this is cool. Side fingerprint sensor. So I think these are pretty much along the lines from what I've seen some of these, but this is brand spanking new. 2450 nits peak brightness. Wow. So the outer display is 1840 by 2208. Whoa. Cool. Pixel 9 Fold 2 satellite connectivity. Wait, what? It says Google might launch Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Skipping. Oh, the Fold 2, that's the name. Yeah, we know that. Okay, so here you got some specs. So I'm going to add these as well. And this is it's like officially unofficial, basically, right? So here you have the specs. And here you have, and I'll include this once this live is over. Basically have all that here. What we can expect. So it looks like it's going live, right? I think I'm going to take that 5% of hesitation and basically put it down to like 1% or 0. I'm probably close to 0. If Thinborn is making cases for it, they're coming out with it. Now this one looks badass. Now the outer display does have a little rounded outer display, but the inside should look badass. Totally redesigned from last year's OG Pixel Fold, where it was short, fat, ugly. So that's everything, all that we know of the Pixel Fold 2 or Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Okay, I gotta remember this. Pixel 9 Pro Fold, Pixel 9 Pro Fold, Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Okay. So, if you're interested in these stats if you want to learn more about this as we get closer to launch, you got everything there at eSIMstudios.app, right? And as I mentioned, Samsung swooped in yesterday, stole the show. If you want to reserve your Z Flip 6 and or your Z Fold 6, because this Pixel 9 Pro Fold, aka Pixel Fold 2, very stiff competition with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6, right? They actually, minus the camera hump on the back, pretty similar, minus the rounded outer display, pretty similar in dimensions, and they're going to be squared off around the edges. So it's going to be, look, and I think they're going to be priced right around the same. They're going to be about $2,000. That's just the way it is. They're going to increase slightly. But which one are you kind of leaning more towards? The Pixel Fold 2 or the Z Fold 6? Remember, Z Fold 6 getting launched July 10th, and the Pixel 9 Pro Fold getting launched essentially a month later on August 13th. That's officially when you can pre-order it. However, if you want to reserve your pre-order, I have a link in the description box below. Let me make sure it's there. Yes, reserve your Fold 6 and Flip 6 today. You can get $50 off plus up to $1,000 off with a trade-in. Description box has all that information for you, right? If you're interested, I'm sure once these Pixels get launched, I'll have discount codes. As soon as I get them, I always put them in a community post for you guys to save as much money as possible. Very excited. I think this year may be the first year that I actually get a foldable, not a flip, but a foldable, right? And plus, we know that OnePlus is not going to release their rendition, their second version of OnePlus Open is not coming this year. It's going to be next year. So these look to be the best foldables for the remainder of 2024, right here. Now, speaking of Samsung, good day to you, sir. How's it going? I appreciate you joining us today. Check this out. We got some interesting news, right? So, you've heard, so I've reported that with the Samsung S25 series, right? What do we know? We know they are going to change the design language, meaning it's not going to look the same. Whoops. It's not going to look the same as this, right? They're going to change the design. What else do we know? Well, we know it's going to have a upgraded CPU, as they always do every year. I reported maybe a month ago that Samsung was going to go with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 across the board, right? And I was like, yes, that's good news. Typically, if you're not familiar, Samsung, when they release their flagship, they'll release a Snapdragon CPU variant, and they'll release a Samsung Exynos variant. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, like most people, if Samsung produces their own CPU, why don't they just put it in every phone they have, like Apple does, right? Apple doesn't have some iPhones using the Apple CPU and some iPhones using the Snapdragon CPU, right? It's all Apple. Good idea, and theoretically, probably what should happen. However, Samsung has not always had the best track record with its own CPUs. It's hard to believe. And the competing Snapdragon flagship CPU always beats the competing Samsung Exynos CPU in performance and benchmark scores, and typically runs a little cooler. Exynos Samsung CPUs known to get a little hot. So what Samsung has done in the past is kind of off and on, right? So they'll typically release both versions when their flagship phones. They'll release a Snapdragon CPU variant, and those always come to the US, always. But for some regions and parts of the world, they'll put their Exynos CPU in these flagship devices, right? So with that being said, and getting you up to game on what Samsung does with their processors, about a month ago, I heard they're going all in on Snapdragon CPUs. And I was like, well, that's badass, because these Snapdragon CPUs are freaking awesome now. Very, very, very high performing, good battery life, just all around good CPUs. So I thought that was really, really good news. And then about 2 weeks ago, I got word that that was not going to be the case. Samsung was going to do, again, some Snapdragon, some Exynos. And I'm thinking, man, that's really weird. I wonder why they're going back and forth. Like, something's going on. Then we got word today. Samsung could use MediaTek CPUs in this wild rumor in their new upcoming Samsung Galaxy S25 series, right? What the hell? Look, I've never used MediaTek chip before this year. I have the Nothing Phone 2A over here that uses a MediaTek chip. I love it. A MediaTek Dimensity CPU. Awesome. So it's not all that, bad news, right? Now, if you're here in America, you're getting the Snapdragon. But why are we getting all this news back and forth? What's going on, right? Right now is when, look, they released these new flagship Samsung phones at the first of the year. So we're 6 months out from the launch of the S25. Right now, as we speak, as we sit, 6 months out, this is when when Samsung secures all of its deals for its suppliers. Meaning they sign, sealed, delivered, set in stone, write a contract for all these suppliers of this device. So the screen with Gorilla Glass, all the suppliers of the speakers, they sign deals and get it going. With the batteries, with every component of the phone. A CPU, exactly the same. Right now is when they finalize everything, because they're going to have to start manufacturing these things in about 60 to 90 days. So this is why you're getting different reports, weird reports. It's going back and forth. What's going on? So we got word that they might use MediaTek for some of these chips. Samsung has had issues with its own CPU, and Google Pixel actually uses a Exynos-based CPU for their current Tensor CPU. Very underwhelming, right? The phone performs fine and it's very fast and snappy. However, it does not get close to the top Android phones when it comes to performance benchmarking, right? Now, Google's moving away from Samsung. This year when their new Pixel 9 series gets released, this is the very last year they're using Samsung CPUs. They're doing their own thing next year. And that's for a reason too, right? Samsung, I don't believe, has a good grip on their production of CPUs. Now, and this story came out because, look at this story. Apparently, there's rumors going around that they're having issues manufacturing the latest flagship 3 nanometer CPU. Now, if you're unfamiliar, 3 nanometer is basically, so how they make these CPUs, it's really cool. And if you're a nerd like me, you nerd out on this stuff, right? Like the way it's made, the production. It's truly amazing how small these are and how powerful these are. 3 nanometers is basically the foundation of the chip, right? Of the CPU. It's obviously a measurement of distance, a very small distance, 3 nanometers, correct? So typically every year they'll get smaller. I can remember a couple years ago we were at 6 nanometers, then 5, then 4, then 3. We're inching closer to that big old fat 0. I don't know where they're going to stop. Probably at 1, because obviously you can't make a 0 nanometer CPU. Nothing would be there. So it appears the nanometer means the foundation it sits on. The smaller it is, typically they've been getting more powerful every year, right? And they're getting more efficient, less heat. Now, Samsung's been having issues, it appears, with this 3 nanometer chip. And this 3 nanometer chip is their flagship chip. That's their one that they would put in their S25 series, right? So this is the reason why I finally figured out why we've been hearing all these different rumors back and forth. The S25 is going to use all Snapdragon chips. Oh, good. That's good news. And then you hear, oh no, they're going to use some Exynos in parts of the world. What? And then, oh no, they might use MediaTek. This is why. So when there's smoke, there's fire, right? This has to be the reason why we're getting differing reports seemingly every week or every other week of, oh, they're going to do this. No, they're going to do this. No, they're going to do this. Well, that's because they're in the boardroom trying to hammer this out, trying to figure out what the hell to do. They're having issues in the manufacturing plant getting these Exynos chips just right. And that's why instead of splitting and doing Snapdragon and then Exynos like they've been used to doing, right? They can't get their Exynos chips right. So I think that's why you hear MediaTek stepping in, taking the place of these Exynos chips that were going to be typically, they're in Europe. Typically, Samsung will produce the Snapdragon variants for the Americas, meaning Canada, US, Mexico, and then South America as well, Central America. And typically, the Exynos variants, you would get Europe, South Korea. I don't know what Africa gets. Australia, I believe, gets Snapdragon, I think. But you would have a MediaTek chip now, which is very interesting. Now, Samsung's refuting this and saying, oh, no, there's no issues. But where there's smoke, there's fire. I believe this report to a certain extent, right? I put in what I believe. If you go do your research online, there's some other differing opinions that are kind of along the same lines as what I have here, as what I wrote in this article. But this is what I believe. So I think there is an issue, and it's coming down to nut cutting time. As I mentioned, right now they're going to start manufacturing these soon, so they're hammering out all these deals from their suppliers. According to one report, defects in Samsung's Foundry's second generation 3nm process node affected 2,500 batches. Yikes. 65,000 12-inch wafers per month. Now, did you see my thumbnail for this? It's a Samsung manufacturing plant, right? Of workers holding these wafers. So how these CPUs are processed, very intricate, very fine details, but they're produced on it's like a 12-inch diameter wafer where they produce a bunch of these CPUs on there. Well, apparently 65,000 of these wafers are jacked up per month. And that's not good. This is causing losses of approximately $720 million. It was reported that all of these wafers had to be scrapped due to the defects, meaning essentially thrown away in the trash. However, some reports said that all of these scraps were were incorrect. An actual situation is still in the evaluating stage. I don't believe that statement. If everything was okay, there would be no story. There would be no issue. Everything would go on as normal. Me and you would never hear of this, right? So the current production capacity of Samsung's second gen 3nm chip process factory manufacturing process is 60,000 pieces per month. The Korean company also said that such a large-scale defect is unlikely to occur because it has multiple inspection processes throughout the production. Now, is that number correct? Is it accurate? Probably not. It's an estimate. However, there's some number that are getting totally scrapped. Something is not right in the process, right? Samsung is planning a dual source application processor. Let me repeat that. Samsung is reportedly planning a dual source application processor or a system on a chip, SoC, for the S25 series. As such, phones sold in some regions will use Samsung's own Exynos 2500 chips, manufactured by Samsung. Phones in other regions will use Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 CPUs, manufactured by TSMC. Both chips are reportedly manufactured on the 3 nanometer process. The company typically follows the same dual source strategy as I explained before we got into this article, but the S23, it had exclusive use of Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 CPUs due to performance issues from the Exynos chips. So on the S23, they sold it with the Snapdragon chip worldwide because Samsung jacked up those CPUs so bad they couldn't even put them in the devices to sell them in the normal parts of the world that they would normally sell them. So you see where I'm getting at? They've been having issues. Samsung's been having issues with this manufacturing process. This is not a out of the blue situation. This is unfortunately a common occurrence. It's costing them billions of dollars, $720 million already for this year, 2024. Samsung is also expected to use a 3 nanometer Exynos W1000 chip in the brand new Galaxy Watch 7. That's going to be released here on July 10th. This chip is also manufactured on the blah 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 Samsung's 3 nanometer node. I already wrote that in there. It's a 5-core chip that's almost certain to be used in the new Watch 7, according to recent reports. So Samsung's denying this report, and all other reports indicate that something is true, something is wrong. They can deny all they want, but it's pretty clear. If they're going back and forth with their plans of what they're going to use, then something's not right. But at this point, 6 months in to launch, I guarantee you, Apple's got everything lined out, ironed out, ready to roll. Google, they have everything rolling out. I was going to say, unfortunately, well, they're still using Samsung Exynos CPUs as their tensor chip, but everything's already ironed out, and they're manufacturing them right now as we speak. There's no back and forth a few months before launch. There's no, we're going to do this, and then a couple weeks later, oh no, we're going to do that, and then a couple weeks later, oh no, you get another report. Yeah, something's going on, but I wish they would do Snapdragon worldwide, but they have licensing agreements worth billions of dollars, so stuff has to be worked out, and that's what they're doing as we speak. So if I hear anything, if it's confirmed they're going to use MediaTek, then I'll definitely let you know. I'll be the first one to let you know of that. But make sure you subscribe to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel to get that news first, and go and download our eSIM Studios app at esimstudios.app. What other news do we have here? What do we have? 40 minutes? Okay. So apparently, where are we at? Okay. So check this out. So what do you know? The long-awaited release or connection or marriage, whatever you want to call it, the long-awaited marriage, nightmare marriage. You know what you could say? You could say they were maybe engaged for a long time. It was a bitter breakup, and then engaged, and then what do you know? Today they tied the knot again. So Apple flipped the on switch of RCS officially today, June 26th, 2024. Today is a day that will go down in history, the day that Apple integrated RCS. So the green bubble, blue bubble nightmare is over. Apple Messages now supports RCS. You know what? That headline, and I didn't write that. This is Gizmodo. That headline is incorrect. Because from what I know, there is still going to be the green bubble, blue bubble, depending on if you're messaging on an iPhone or Android. Apple's keeping green bubble, blue bubble. It's just the photos that are sent between an iPhone and an Android will be clear. The videos that get sent between iPhone and Android will be clearer. But if you're using an iPhone, you will see a text message coming from an Android to your device. It'll still be green. And they're doing that on purpose. Apple still wants to draw a wedge, and they still want the cheap Androids, quote unquote, to be identified. They don't want to merge the blue in with the iPhones, because that's for so long solidified another iOS device. So this headline is incorrect. The green bubble, blue bubble, still a thing. The grainy photos is a thing of the past. Now you should get relatively clear photos messaging between iPhone and Android, relatively clear videos messaging between iPhone and Android. But today is the day that they flip the switch in the on in the on position. So carriers have been steadily rolling out RCS support on the back end, right? We thought this was not going to be activated until the release of iPhone 16 series in September. So even this is new. It's a interesting trend that none of us are used to, but I certainly could get used to it very quickly. All these announcements, all these tech companies are doing things much earlier than they're used to doing. All these launches are getting pushed up. The release of RCS and them integrating it has been pushed up. So, I mean, this is a good thing for the tech world and us tech nerds. But I definitely need to test this out, because there is still green bubble, blue bubbles. So 9to5Mac is reporting that only some US carriers are currently on board with RCS. The majors, including AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, are the only carriers rolling it out in a bid or in an effort to help developers start developing apps and implementing RCS into iOS 18, right? If you're on an MVNO, meaning a small, like Mint Mobile for T-Mobile, or Metro for T-Mobile, or Cricket for AT&T, it was still implemented, right? So when they mention these three carriers, that means not only these three carriers, but all the carriers underneath them, right? Whoever's using their towers, that includes them. Let's see, if you're running the developer beta of iOS 18, you might see an option to toggle it in the on position. Now, you got to go to the settings panel, and under settings, go to apps, and then select messages. If it's not there, your current provider, your current service cell phone provider has not activated it yet on their end, right? So just keep on waiting, check it once a week or so, and it should be pretty damn soon. Again, go to the settings panel or settings app, and then go to apps, and then go to messages, and you should see the switch there to activate RCS. I believe if you, the iOS user, you, the iPhone user, has to activate it. I don't think it's activated by default or automatically. I believe the user has to go in and physically activate it, right? So that is very interesting. So please check your iOS, your iPhone, iPad, whatever you message on that's an iOS device. Please check it and activate it so we can get clear photos. That would be nice. Thank you very much. What else we got? Any more news? Let's see here. Any unpacked news? Let's see. I don't see any breaking news. We went over this. Let's go to when are you going to get 7.0 if you're a Samsung user. So it looks like Galaxy, as you know, the new Snapdragon X Elite CPUs are launched in the new Galaxy Book 4 Edge, but the standard Book 4 prices have dropped. They're trying to sell they're trying to get rid of as much stock as possible. Now, with my history of Galaxy books have not been good. I've had overheating issues. I've had all sorts of issues. Sluggish, choppy operating system. So I don't recommend the standard Galaxy book. However, if you want to get a good deal, they are selling them for $600 and less than that. Less than, anyway, probably in the $500 range, right? So if you want to give one a try, be my guest. But my experience was not good. Now, I can almost, I'm going to say almost guarantee you will have a fantastic experience on the new Samsung Galaxy Book 4 Edge with the brand new Snapdragon X Elite CPU inside. That is getting phenomenal reviews, and I'm currently in the market looking for one, a good deal. Let's see if their dev kit is available. Our daily check, which is basically a Snapdragon X Elite CPU in-housed in a mini PC body. So it's not in a laptop form. This Qualcomm is selling a mini PC with the Snapdragon X Elite in it. And you can purchase one. And they're supposed to be out. But they have not released them for whatever reason. Whoops, that was laptops. Okay, and as you can tell, they have not released them yet. So, they're supposed to release them on the 18th, and it's been, over a week now, and have not released them to the public yet. So, let me go back here and check out this deal, right? So, what is this deal they got? Okay, so you're heavily discounted. Now, these come with the Intel CPU. Again, my experience is not good. But, so you've been warned if you want to buy one. Now, there's a phenomenal sale at the moment. With the S9 Ultra. I'm going to pull it up right now. Where did it go? I guess I could Google it. So watch this. So they currently have this tablet, right? Samsung just dropped its best S9 Ultra deal ever, saving you over $1,000. Now, this is what I currently use as my laptop. It's the S9 Ultra tablet. I got it on the same deal. Roughly, it's a $1,300 tablet. I got for essentially $160, I think. Now, you have to have a trade-in, but remember my hack. Find out the trade-in you need and go purchase one on eBay for pennies on the dollar, and then use that as your trade-in, right? You don't have to have it in your house or on you when you make this purchase. Figure out what you need to trade in to get this deal activated, and either go on eBay, go on OfferUp, go on Mercari, find you the absolute cheapest trade-in you can purchase that's available, buy that trade-in, get it in the mail, and then ship it in to Samsung as your trade-in, and you can get this phenomenal tablet for $180 like I did. Again, it's a $1,300 tablet. let's see what the trade-ins are real quick. Yeah, so this is the one I got. 12 gigs of RAM, 256. Look at this rating. Essentially 5-star rating. 611 people rated this tablet, and essentially every single person gave it 5 stars. I'm actually using it as my laptop because when you open up Chrome on this tablet, it's a desktop Chrome. It's the same Chrome you're going to find on a desktop and or a laptop Chromebook. Chromebook. It's the same Chrome version. It's the desktop version of Chrome, not a mobile version. It's a desktop version. And you can do all sorts of stuff, right? Connect keyboards to it, mouse to it, use it as a laptop. It's almost 15-inch screen, beautiful AMOLED, dynamic Super AMOLED display. Look at this. What are these? Let's see. And it has an SD card slot, so don't worry about the 256 gigs of storage. You can buy an SD card, throw it in there, and use that as storage as well. 12 gigs, plenty enough. RAM, remember it also has RAM expansion, so you can also add 8 gigs of RAM from your storage onto your RAM, making it a total of 20 gigs of RAM. So it's more than enough. So let's real quick before we get out of here, let's see what the trade-in deals are. What the hell's going on? So you can get a Tab S8 for like $100 or $200 on eBay. Trade one of these S8 tablets for $100 or $200. Purchase that with your money, and then and then you're going to trade that in. Samsung's going to give you anywhere from $700 to $900 for your trade-in value. Another cool thing, you can purchase this on Samsung's website, and you can pick it up at your local Best Buy, which is what I did. Another cool thing, they give you the discount immediately. It's not like Apple where you pay everything up front. So it's not like Apple where you'd pay $1,100, $1,200 out of your pocket today, and then once you send your trade-in, they would send you back or debit you, or I guess credit you the $600 back, $700, $800, $900 back. No. Samsung does it right out the gate. So when I made my purchase for this, the only thing that came out of my account was $160. That's it. And that's the way it should be. So I'll link this in the description box below. Look at that. In-store pickup. Just wow. Awesome deal. So tablet's nice now. They are coming out with the new S10 tablets. The S10, S10 Plus, S10 Ultra tab. Or I guess I should say Tab S10. But here's the deal. Go ahead and get this deal. When Samsung releases their new Tab S10 Ultra here in 5-6 months, whatever it is, they're going to give you a phenomenal trade-in deal for this S9 Ultra. So they'll essentially give you $1,000 off. So you can take this S9 Ultra you purchased and apply that to the new S10 Ultra and still pay a couple $100, right? Just to upgrade. So Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 that this Tab S9 has in it, plenty fast, very, very, very fast. Have not experienced any hiccups or anything. And I run a lot of open tabs in the background. So, whoa, nice picture there. Okay, sorry. Yeah, good for art, good for gaming. Just not probably. It is the best Android tablet money can buy. Period. So, I would like to see Snapdragon throw their X Elite in one of these. Oh man, that'd be badass. But it's nice as is. I don't know why they had an issue with Wi-Fi 6E, but mine's perfect. So, do appreciate it, guys. I've been about an hour, so I'm gonna get up on out of here. Remember, you can catch all the news, latest tech news at esimstudios.app. And we have more there too, right? If you need the best service, You want to find the best service for you, the best deal. We have that there. Let's check it out real quick. So here's our homepage. Go to the menu, Android news, Apple news, PC news, other tech news. I have deals that I handpick, deals that are freaking badass, just like this old Tab S9 Ultra deal. I got it up here among many others, right? And Amazon Prime Day is right around the corner. I'm going to be busy making sure I only bring you the very best deals you can get, right? Online, across the whole internet, I'll have them right here. You can listen to my podcast, eSIM Studios podcast, right here on the app. You can watch my YouTube channel, eSIM Studios YouTube channel, right here on the app. eSIM Studios Live, you can watch our live stream on the app, right? The unlocker. You want to unlock phones? Got you. Android flash tool. You got a Pixel. Did you brick your Pixel trying to mess around with it? Well, I'll show you how to flash stock Android back on there and get it back working. Here's where you find the best deals for service, wireless service. If you want to buy phones, I got the best phone finder on the internet. It'll get you the very best deal if you're looking for a Pixel 8 Pro. You type in Pixel 8 Pro, you hit enter, and then nothing but the best deals from around the world just for the Pixel 8 Pro. You want to install your Gcam app, right? You have a OnePlus phone and you want to throw the Pixel camera app on your OnePlus device. I can show you how to do it. I have the downloads and installs right here. SIM swap, how to protect yourself from a SIM swap. Our giveaway, how could I forget our giveaway? So make sure you go there, sign up right now. 4 days left. Yeah, as you can tell, you have a phenomenal chance of winning. Only 13 people have entered. I just activated it last night, but go to esimstudios.app, go to our giveaway section. You can win an Amazon gift card worth $25. I'll email it to you. Whoever's the winner, I get it to you in seconds. We're gonna draw it in 4 days. So make sure you go sign up. We do a drawing every week. So come back every single week. We'll have a new giveaway here for you. What else we got? Oh, I just added this. Wallpapers. You want nice AMOLED wallpaper for your phone, for your tablet, for your new nice S9 tablet with a nice AMOLED display? Go get you some AMOLED wallpaper I got here. This is a collection of my favorite wallpaper. Nothing but AMOLED wallpaper right here. I think you can hit right click it. Yep, and save as. Oh, you can't see it on the screen. So if you're on your phone, just simply long press one of these photos. Or if you're on a computer, right click, and then your options will pull up, and then you can save as. But look at all this. A couple hundred badass AMOLED wallpapers, right? And what else we got? We got contact us. You want to advertise with us, right? Come advertise with us. We got you covered. We can, just like Efani, America's most secure network, is advertising with us, right? Google Fi, advertising with us. I have all the details here and everything you can sponsor, not only on this eSIM Studios channel, but also on our Chiefs Studios YouTube channel, which covers all the NFL and the World Champion Chiefs. And that'll do it, guys. Let me get out of here. I do appreciate the time. We just hit an hour, so please join me tomorrow. Same time, same place, same great tech news and reviews. Appreciate everything. Please have a safe and enjoyable Wednesday afternoon, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Peace.